Okay, so yesterday, one of the reflection, please remind me, otherwise I would have to open my email box. Someone sent the reflection that about consciousness. I think it was Miguel, consciousness, or it was Alejandro about consciousness.
Um, I
Like
believe it was mine.
like it was someone wrote that uh, artificial intelligence conscious can be, we don't know how it is thinking on those lines. Who sent that?
I
Miguel,
believe
or
it was not me.
it was not Alejandro? Yes, Miguel, I think you sent. Please
Yeah,
share.
yeah, maybe.
Yes. So please share with us the how you reflected. Please share with us.
Okay, I said that I think that it's not clear that when we develop the artificial intelligence, it would be self-aware. I mean, it's not just like if developing a complex intelligence, it would be self-aware. It's not linked. I mean, there are no proofs that intelligence that is such complex would be consciousness.
Hmm. Hmm. Very interesting point. A very interesting point. If you guys heard what our friend is explaining us, something came in my mind, and I saw some clip, and they were also talking about the same thing. Like, if we are typing, we are on the keyboard and we are typing. Just imagine you are typing and writing something, and there is a cat or dog around you. What do you think cat and dog is thinking? Is does the cat and dog has that capacity, consciousness to understand that you are writing something and then you are typing it and you are talking with so many other people, and maybe you are coding, or whatever you are doing? So maybe the cat and dog, we don't know what they are thinking, but I'm sure someone knows who studies cats and dogs behavior. They know, if you would search, you will find out. But I am thinking a cat or dog would be thinking that you are just moving your fingers, playing with something, or exercising your fingers. Because why they cannot understand that what you are talking with someone, and you are emailing and typing on Word or whatever? Because maybe they don't have that understanding. Their brain is limited, their understanding is limited. Yeah. So same way, this thing which Miguel is talking about, it is a possibility that artificial intelligence would interact with each other, and we won't really understand once it goes to that level. I'm just assuming that we have gone so much far ahead that AI can talk with each other, and they can learn on their own. If that time comes, maybe they will communicate, and we won't really understand. For example, do we, when cats and dogs are with each other, do we really understand what they are really talking about? We can understand that they are fighting or they are loving or whatever, but the exact wording or what they are using, we don't have that understanding. uh, so same way, this point which Miguel has shared with us, it made me think that, yes, Zora, you are talking about some games, ethics, and that type of thing. Can you please share with us? I think that was very interesting example which you had, where the where the gaming players were thinking that you want to be part of the society, something like that. So please go ahead and explain us what it is.
Yes, yes. It was a game. It's called Detroit Become Human, and basically it's about a society within which robots are so developed, they're basically like humans. They can perform various tasks, and they are usually programmed to only perform certain tasks. Like their consciousness is literally blocked by like a ad block system, and they can only maybe feel some emotions and not others. You're like blocking them, and they're like designed to just, let's say, work as a nurse, or let's say work at a home like a caretaker, take care of the children, and not be able to, I don't know, leave the house or get angry or something like that. And the robots, some of them kind of break the block, the barrier, and they can experience all range of emotions, and they can also experience the whole physical being. They're kind of seeing beyond their sole purpose. Before it was just, okay, I'm a robot and I can only do this one thing, and now they're like, okay, I can see, I can have emotions, I can have interactions with other people, robots, I can be more than just a thing that does this one task, let's say. Okay, and they try to kind of make a revolution, and they try to remove the barriers of, or like the ad block, let's say, from the other robots, and they want them to have equal rights to humans, because the robots get treated very badly. You can hurt them, you can kick them, you can do anything to them, and they can't do anything. They can't get angry, they don't have no rights, they're just there. But they feel the same emotions as humans do, basically, and they're kind of advocating for the, I want to be equal to humans, and kind of in the game you choose if you want to be good or bad, or if you want to approach the subject with like a democratic way, or just saying, okay, we are here and we're gonna be here, and respect us or we will fight you. Yeah. So that's about the game, but the deeper question beyond the game is, maybe what if robots became actually self-aware, and how would we treat them? Like, could we be or would we be able to integrate them into our society and kind of see them as equals to us? Or are we not able to? Do we always gonna perceive them as less than us because they're robots, their emotions are not equal to ours, even though maybe they are, we don't know. So that was like the ethical dilemma in the game, about like, how would we function with these robots in our society if they were to happen, and how would we treat them? Would we just use them for some tasks because they were like, they were kind of even abused in certain ways, the robots, so it was not very fun for some of them. They experienced, yeah, some troubling stuff, yeah, and no one could do anything about it. It was seen as like just part of life. So maybe that's a question about that. I don't know if that is what you meant.
Excellent commentary, and thanks for sharing these insights with us. And you're absolutely right. This is the question you are raising from that experience, is that even if that time comes, which we think it might come in years to in years, if we can go forward in years, but even at that time, how would we look at artificial intelligence, our own prejudice, or stereotyping, the things we were talking about yesterday? They can be very challenging, because think about it, even now in this time, there is no artificial intelligence of that level yet. At least it's not in the market. But when we look at anyone, we we have we have some stereotypes about them. We have, like, some races we look up to, some races we look down to. Yeah. So, all, for example, black people. Yeah. How do you guys view black people? Yeah. What comes to your mind? Is it something you think they are superior to you? When you look at a black person, an ordinary regular person walking, what feeling comes to you? Do you think that they are superior, or do you think, oh, they are inferior, and those type of things? So I'm sure all of you think them as equal, but it would not be any surprise if you look deep inside you, and you will find out that all of us have some type of prejudice against someone or another. Yeah. So a person from Europe, he's going to think Africa is, because Africa is, it's coming from a backward society, they are not so much developed yet. So we will look them in a like, empathetic way, and, oh, you don't know these things yet, and stuff like that. Yeah. So this is natural. This we are not trying to do that. It is automatically the way we were raised, our environment, all of those things have influenced us. And when we will be making any type of technology, artificial intelligence, or any technology, those prejudices are going to come in there. So what I'm trying to say, that we need to be careful about that, because without knowing it, it happens. Without knowing, without your likability and how you look at someone, that automatically impact your behavior. When you see someone who is attractive and so on and so forth, your voice quality change, the way you look at them, your smile, everything change. But when you see someone you dislike from the looks or whatever is going on in your head, you're not going to pay much attention to them. This is a thing which is across cultures to the world. So for AI, we need to be a little bit careful. So on this note, we saw that our friend is here, Arman, from I think Romania. So Arman, welcome to our session. We missed you having for first 2 days, but you have friend. You can hear me. Please turn on your camera maybe if that is fine. If you can hear us, and please be in touch with other friends here, and the website is there, and try to spend some time there, and so on. But I think he stepped away or something like that. Yeah. So Zora, I want to continue with you. You also mentioned that you had some conversations with your family, your dad and family, about AI and jobs and those type of things. So let's spend some time on that. What was the takeaway from that? Because all of us have those type of conversation. I have it with my peers, and what should we do, and others. So maybe we can learn something from your insight and have a little, because I think that is important. Please go ahead.
Okay, so within the debate, we were talking about the jobs and the future of the jobs, and I kind of briefly already touched on this subject when I said that maybe the jobs that will kind of disappear are not the jobs we think will disappear, the low income wage ones, but maybe the ones that are more highly paid. We discussed that maybe even banking or like in finance, let's say Wall Street, and some of these type of jobs will disappear because as of now they're getting more rigid with the rules of how you do it, how you trade and stuff. And like having set and strict rules is the kind of first base layout needed for an AI to be able to perform the job. Repetitive, strict, rules-based kind of jobs are very, good for AI, or good, I don't know how to say it, maybe the type of jobs that AI can take over are the jobs that depend on repetitive tasks that are kind of rules oriented. That was the first one. So maybe, yeah, we were talking about like what jobs will disappear. And then we were talking about the future of AI and how I was saying that, oh, I'm scared. Like, okay, I don't want a future where there's robots and everything and I don't have a job and stuff like that. And he was like, okay, but it's inevitable in his opinion. He thinks it's just a matter of time that AI will come. We just have to kind of adapt to it, and maybe that this what we're doing right now, taking a course on it or learning about it, is the first step to kind of be able to overcome the challenge of AI integrating into our society, because you're going to be more prepared if you prepare for it than if you just dismiss it and say, oh, nothing's going to happen in this in the future, no one cares, whatever, so he was saying, okay, we have to adapt. Like people in the past didn't have a choice about like being peasants or having to work for the king. They just had to adapt and overcome. So I don't feel like maybe we have such a big saying in, oh, will AI come? Will it not come? It will probably come, and we have to adapt and overcome it. Yeah, we're talking about that, and we were also talking about regarding the topic of consciousness, that what is the future of all of this? What is the future of the human race? Where will this lead us? And he was saying maybe eventually we'll all become one big consciousness, and maybe the human race will just adapt and become a different society we cannot imagine, you know, that it will transform our society in such a way we cannot even imagine or fathom at this point. And also maybe in the near future it will transform our society towards knowledge-based society. It will force people to kind of use their intellect more and not rely on just skills, but also think more. So yeah, that's what I was talking about with my dad. We talk about this quite often because he's a big fan of technologies and preparing for everything, and talking about AI and business and stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hope
amazing.
it makes sense.
Oh yes, it makes sense. He is he's making very good points with you. As a matter of fact, we should have him as a guest speaker, as a guest lecturer, so he can enlighten all of us. Yeah, very good point.
Thanks.
Yes, I'm
Okay.
very happy that, and thanks very much for sharing. So these type of debates, you need to take on with the people around you at school, at home, your friends, and think about it. Because when you interact, exchange point of views, and listen to other point of views also. Like if someone says that what Zoe says, if there is someone who does not agree with what she said, and they have their own point of view, listen to that. There is no problem in listening, and try to understand where they are coming from. And when you are listening these type of debates, do not, as the other person is speaking, do not start preparing your answer to defend your point of view. Just listen what the other person is saying. And again, this is a tendency. If I say, let's say that if I say, Zora, what you said is not making sense, and I think like that, now Zora is going to start thinking in her mind how she should respond. Generally speaking, not talking about her, but generally speaking, that is when someone says anything against her, we start thinking about our response. So do that with AI. At least other point of view, just listen to them, and no problem. You say, yes, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I don't know, you tell me what do you think, and let them speak and see where the conversation goes. Yeah. Because to be honest, no one really knows. As a matter of fact, if someone says that they really know what would be the future like and stuff like that, I would say don't listen, because how they can be so sure. It's nice. Something is wrong here. They are not open. They are not open about the future and stuff like that. So very good start. Okay, let me share screen, and let's see a couple of things I want to talk about. So yesterday, and these same Diago was talking about it, Alejandro was talking about it yesterday, regulation. And that is the same type of conversation Zora and her dad are having, that it should be regulated, there should be, a step-by-step procedure and so on. And yesterday, I asked Diago to share his reflection with all of us. And he said something about fear, so I added this clip, which I saw some time ago. So should we be afraid of AI? Very interesting clip. You should watch it in your own time. So this was module 1, and I showed you these other postings which I made. I have also included here now at the bottom of first module, as I said, that I will keep on updating these pages as we go forward, depending on how our conversations are going, because I don't want to put everything in one time, because then it would be overwhelming for you guys. So that is why I'm using this. But by the end of the 2 weeks, everything will be there, and then later on you can see what is what. So this is a simple AI presentation. In your own time, maybe you should look into this. Yeah. And it will now tie up the things which we did later. This was module 2, which we were talking about yesterday. We talk about machine learning, deep learning and stuff. And I have added this one. This is a new one. It was not there yesterday. Artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is like 1 hour, 15 minutes lecture via MIT. No hard language is used. Very easy, very simple to understand. No big deal. So please watch it. And I think now you are ready for this type of conversation. So because we have established some basics in the last 2 sessions. So start looking at these ones. So I'm highlighting this one. So after the session or before tomorrow, if you can watch it, it would be nice. But if you don't want to watch it now, that is also fine. If this is a tight time for you, as Diago said that he's doing assignment, I don't know what other friends are doing. But what I'm trying to say, somewhere along the line, please watch this artificial and machine learning. Yeah, you're going to learn a lot from this. And you just play the clip, and if it is not something which you don't like, then you can stop watching. But at least start and see what the guy is saying, and it will be nice, I think. Yeah. And then we started talking about bias. We spent some good time on bias, prejudice, policing, those type of things. In police they are using AI. What can be some of the things which they should be careful about? All of that conversation, ethical dilemma, uh, those type of things we spoke about. And Miguel's reflection was on that, as he explained you consciousness, and he tried to raise some questions that do we really understand consciousness or not? What is our understanding? Maybe the way we understand it, that is not the understanding for AI. So we need to think about that. Yeah, so quite interesting reflection he had, and he shared with all of you, so you guys know. And then Zora also shared what she has been saying about the games, and what she said about games, it brings some memories in my head. Like, I've seen some movies on this, like AI has evolved, and there is a girl who is AI, and the guy is the creator, and the girl, AI girl, falls for the guy, and then he says that you are a AI, but she says that I have feelings, and he says that, well, you cannot cry, and at the end of the movie, there are tears coming out of AI. It's quite an interesting movie. I'm forgetting the name right now. I plan to share some movies with you by the end of our interaction, and we will maybe watch something together, or something we will plan how we want to do these things. So I hope you guys, I just showed you, one or two clips, and then we had conversation. So I hope that you will watch these short clips, and whatever you have to do with these. This one I have added based on our yesterday's conversation: artificial intelligence, racism, cats, and COVID-19. I think this was the clip why I was using cats again and again. So I explained you guys that I have no business with cats. So because maybe I saw this, so I was using. She has very nicely, with a nice sense of humor, she has very nicely made the case of racism, equality. What are the things we need to be careful of? Just 12 minutes before you know it will be finished. So this is a new clip. It was not here yesterday. Please watch it very carefully. And at the end of this was module 3. This is module 3 where we were yesterday. So at the end of that page, which is this one, module 3, maybe Arman is new and he's watching. So let me just go again one more time. So when you open the page, front page, the link you have lectures, you click lectures. Then you are looking for AI for everyone, master the basics. You click this. And this is the clip I was saying I added. Then you go in module 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we are looking at module 3 right now, which we looked at yesterday. So so this was the same one where I'm talking about racism, cats video. Yeah. 12-minute clip. So at the bottom of this page, I have added this new thing: supplementary. This is AI future of communication. And the reason I added this, couple of reasons. Number one, that we came up with that example of Washington Post writing articles using robots. I think it was 800, 650 or 850, something like that. And then the next day I showed you that there are other companies also which are hiring bots to do this, AI to do this type of work. And then I also showed you another news where the AI picked up a wrong picture. Yeah. So because we were talking about communication and stuff like that, that's why I have added this. Yeah. AI future of communication. So when you will click this link, and I hope you can open this on your desktop also, and you can play with the things as I'm talking about. So when you will click this module 3 at the bottom, supplementary AI future of communication, you click this, and this is what you will get. So this one is around 3 hours of a course. Yeah. So if you are interested in communication, let's say, and what is the role of AI in communication, you can just watch these clips. These are 8 clips, and overall they are 3-hour clips. It's not very long. So they take you through what is an algorithm, what is AI in the context of communication, journalism, media, how does AI influence communication, what are the linkages there, AI and the media industry, yeah, AI and organizational communication, yeah, AI and interpersonal communication. And I'm not sure if our computer science friends have taken some courses on communication, but I'm sure Zora has taken, something on organizational behavior, communication, those type of courses in her degree, because she's coming from business background. AI and future of communication, leveraging AI as a communication professional. Yeah. So although this is not a communication class at all, but the point I wanted to make, I have said it earlier also, but with these clips, I want you to make this point, that it does not matter which area you go to. You can pick anything of your interest. Maybe you are interested in law. Yeah. Maybe you are understanding in helping the doctors using AI. It can be, maybe you are interested in sports. You wanted to become a sports star and you could not become that, and you came in this boring studies of computer science and business. I'm sorry for that. I'm sure it is not boring, but sometimes we want to do something else, but we end up somewhere else. So you can link it now with that. Whatever you want it to become, you just link it with AI. And what is the role of AI in that? And enjoy the what you want it to be. It's no big deal. So for that, I picked up this communication. So someone is interested in communication, but they were in AI, in computer science. So no problem. You can link it with that. So this is a very good example of that. Just 3 hours, and it will give you the basics and stuff like that. Yeah. So you can play with that and so on. Okay, with that, let's look at the fourth module now. Yeah, fourth module is the last one to understand the basics, and after that things will become, then after that couple of readings I want to give you, which you will look, and then after that it will be more fun, I think, because of the examples and the things which I will share with you. So if things are boring, I'm sure they are not boring, you are enjoying, but still I kind of get bored by these theoretical type of things, but we have to do those things also. Okay, so this module 4 is now the future with AI in action, the future of with AI. Yeah. And if you guys can recall, we have been talking about these things, what would be the future. And as a matter of fact, Zora gave us a very good start by sharing her, what the conversation was. It was all about future, and you guys also spoke about, in the future it should be regulated and stuff like that. So we're going to breeze through that before we know. All right.
The original AI researchers were very interested in games because they were extremely complex. Huge numbers of possible positions and games were available. Yet they're simple in a certain way. They're simple in that the moves are well defined, the goals are well defined, and so you don't have to solve everything all at once.
With chess in particular, and the work on Deep Blue at IBM, what became apparent, what computers could do on a problem like that, was bring a massive amount of compute resource to do deeper searches, to investigate more options of moves in chess that than was previously possible. Watson defeating Jeopardy, so this was another crossover point in sort of the development of AI and cognitive computing. The questions that IBM was able to answer with Jeopardy were questions that weren't simply looking up in a database and finding the answer somewhere. Rather, it required information retrieval over a lot of different information resources, and then the combining of these together using machine learning that could arrive at answers that went beyond what was simply written somewhere.
Now our technology is so much better and so much more advanced that we're really ready to move on and to tackle much more challenging problems that have this kind of ill-defined or kind of messy nature.
Every industry, from oil and gas to healthcare to media and entertainment to retail, are just being swamped by a tsunami of unstructured data. That can be, multimedia, it can be images, it can be video, it can be text. And it's really the ability to understand that data that is becoming critical.
One of the most valuable applications of cognitive computing is in the health domain. Medical providers, physicians, nurses, assistants face challenges leveraging all of the available information that's out there. The medical literature increases by about 700,000 articles every year. And there's already millions of journal articles out there. And today's imaging technologies produce very rich amounts of information. In fact, a particular scan might have 5,000 images in it. You combine the image analysis with natural language understanding, text analysis, leveraging the medical literature, leveraging the patient's medical history. The physician has got a lot more information and knowledge at their disposal to help them make the best diagnosis possible.
Clearly, there's this intersection of what the computer can do and what people are able to do that gives you something that's better than each of them individually. What is going to be truly interesting is to see what is the best way for them to have a really symbiotic type of interaction, taking advantage of each other's strengths to collectively solve a problem.
Watson, it looks at another aspect of intelligence and a much more difficult aspect of intelligence, that is language. You have to be able to interpret the questions and come up with the right answers, no matter what the topic. So I think the ideal scenario for AI in the modern world is not to try and develop a system that completely autonomously handles every aspect of a problem, but have a collaboration between machines doing what they do best and people doing what they do best. And I can imagine that combination will do better than either one by themselves. We're constantly here looking for what's the next grand challenge problem that we can take on that's not just around the corner or a year away, but it's going to take a multi-year effort. And when we get there, we'll have something that's valuable for the world.
Yes, so couple of very interesting pointers you can maybe take from this and link it with our previous discussion. For example, they spoke briefly about cognition, cognitive. We spoke about that in the last session, I think. Unstructured data they are talking about. So from structured data, the debate is going towards unstructured data, and we spent some time in talking about unstructured data also yesterday when we were talking about deep learning. If you will go into that type of videos, you will understand that deep learning is all about unstructured data. And they establish in the clip that it is used across industries. We also established that before watching this clip. Couple of things here, like you need to reflect on, like they were talking about health, and they were saying every year 700,000 articles are maybe written on health. Yeah, so maybe more. Yeah, something like that. A lot of articles are written on any topic which you're going to choose. So for a human being to go through those articles, it is going to take considerable amount of time. But by using AI, these type of technologies, you can scan through those type of articles very quickly. Image reading, they spoke about image. We're looking at 5,000 images, and then taking out the information from that. And as Alejandro mentioned in one of the sessions, that the idea is that a combination, collection of AI and human expertise. Just like yesterday, we were talking about chefs and how they cook and recipes, those type of examples which we were giving. So AI will look through these articles, take out the information, scan various images, and do all of that, and maybe give a report to the doctor or whoever is going to make some type of decision depending on which industry you are looking at, and from that make decision. But you have to be mindful about that. Whatever report is being generated by these type of technology, that is not the final word. Doctor will still have to look into that, because the report is dependent on the data. If wrong data is given, the way AI is right now, it is going to give you information which is maybe not correct, and that is where the future would maybe go eventually, that AI can also develop some type of understanding that something is wrong with this data, or this is something on those lines, just like human beings can do that. But the challenge is that AI is dependent on the data we put into it directly. But human beings are not only dependent on the direct information. They also think, this imagination which human beings have. They keep making stories. We all make stories in our head. Oh, that person said that, it means this. That person did that, it means, what is that? That is storytelling. You are telling yourself some story. So AI maybe don't have that capability as yet. But maybe that is wrong, because AI is writing articles, AI is writing books, AI is writing poems, AI is creating music. It's quite an interesting um, debate. And in the end of the clip, they were saying that it is more of a collaboration than anything else. So again, we are in module 4, future of AI. As you are seeing on the screen now, what's next for AI? These are a couple of readings maybe you should scan in your own time, and don't feel worried that there are too many. These are short articles, and you just have to scan through them. You just see the main points, what are the main things they are seeing, and if you like something, you read that in detail. If you don't like it, these are just for like scanning. So in QA sessions, IBM gathered the opinions of AI visionaries to consider what the future might hold for AI, and these are the names: Kevin Kelly, Mark Segar, Oscar winner, AI engineer, research pioneer. This guy is preeminent deep learning researcher, veteran AI, and so these are quite interesting people. So, and a little brief is given alongside, but you will have to click and then see, what are they saying. So let's click just one of them randomly. I'm clicking Mark Segar. What's making an AI machine play and be naturally curious is key. Yeah, making an AI machine play and be naturally curious is the key. So if AI can play, yeah, what is the significance of play? We all play something. We play games on computer. We play outside doors. Sometimes we play with people also. Yeah, so those type of things. Play and be naturally curious. Naturally curious. Not because of a command. Naturally curious. Just like I shared the example yesterday, that when I said that AI don't need rest and they can continue working, I was curious. I said, let me check. So that type of curiosity, maybe at a higher level, if that comes, that would be good. And they see this is a short article, nothing big. Yeah, so for example, look at this. I think we will see increasing use of virtual assistants as a journal interface, and when dealing with more complex or unclear situations requiring dialogue and feedback. This is where we are. So what basic things, there are chat bots and those type of things. I think you guys also mentioned some example, I think yesterday, that the ethical question you guys raised, that when we are talking with some customer service, if it is AI, then maybe they should tell us that you are not talking with a real human being, it is a AI, and that type of thing. So click these links and then see what can we learn from those.
What does AI have in store for us in the future?
My crystal ball is a little cloudy, so I don't know if I have a prediction that I would bet money on. What I do know is what we have seen is the way AI has progressed. It starts fairly slowly, but then it gains steam exponentially. One good example is DeepMind put the system together that won in the game of Go. It's a 2,500-year-old game, which won against a human opponent. But what's most amazing is while the first system was able to outdo 2,500 years of human history in the game, the second generation of that system was able to outplay the first generation of the system in less than 1 year. And it only took about 40 hours of training for it to be able to achieve that level of proficiency in that game. And it won 100 games out of 100. So what we do know is the pace of which this technology is accelerating is just breathtaking, and it's not something we predict very well. So if it was one prediction I were to make, it's going to get faster, it's going to get better, it's going to get cheaper, and it is going to happen very, very rapidly, within a very short period.
It's going to be an interesting world. It's going to evolve very rapidly because these technologies not only can perform tasks that we've never seen automated before, but learn as they do them and continue to improve. So what we'll see is we'll deploy systems, and every year they'll get incrementally better at the tasks that they're trying to do. So we won't have to drive our own cars anymore. Hopefully we won't have to put away our own dishes. There's a lot of simple things in our lives that become automated and become eliminated from our daily task list. It's a revolution that we've been through before. The first washing machines, the first dishwashers, etc. All these things have helped us to enriched our lives and simplified the way we live and increased our comfort. And I think we'll see many more such evolutions as we watch the AI world unfold.
Particularly in healthcare, I think we'll see faster recovery times. We'll see better patient outcomes. We'll see people spending less money and time in hospitals and in various care centers. AI has been game-changing for healthcare. There's so much information that we can take out of a particular system and apply it to another. We can build all sorts of models that have been, can be hugely beneficial to long-term care. So that's something that I'm very excited about and seeing that evolve.
Looking into the crystal ball, I'm always apprehensive to make long-term predictions, but my hope is that we are able to indeed deploy these collaborative robotic systems, including self-driving cars, to make people's lives better. That's the idea, is to use AI and robotics technology to improve the quality of life for the whole spectrum of society. So I would be looking forward to a future in which AI plays a central role in freeing us from the dull, the mundane, the dirty, the dangerous jobs, and hopefully providing us with more time to spend with our families, better health, potentially better health care through data analysis. And so I think if I envision the future that I hope will come to pass in a number of years, we'll be really leveraging these technologies to make our lives better and to free ourselves from dull, dirty, dangerous work.
Very interesting clip. A couple of things I want you to make note of, especially the last comments by the last guy. So he's saying that the dirty, dangerous work human beings can, avoid that and let machines, robots, AI do that. Yeah. So some examples can be, there is a building, there is a fire in the building. Yeah. So why do you want to send a human firefighter if the robot is there and they can understand the situation and they can, deal with the water and those type of things? You can send that in and it can deal with the situation and it can lower the fire level or whatever it is. So is not that amazing? If that can be done, why not? Why to send human being? And this is just one example. So many other things where you can use this robotics and that type of thing, and human beings are controlling that thing. And maybe later on I'm going to show you some examples also in coming days which will establish this case. And a point which the first guy made, that if you guys were listening carefully, he said that the AI learned, the training was 40 hours. In 40 hours it was, it got the training. Which, so what they are saying is that for human beings, just like we made one example yesterday also, if I can recall, that human beings take forever to learn one skill. It takes time when you want to learn something. But for AI, once you or deep learning, if I should start using that word, unstructured data going in, that is deep learning. Yeah. So if the data is available, computer can read it. Artificial intelligence can make its own conclusions from that and make the learning whatever is required. So very quickly uh, it can learn. And then the second guy was saying it will become faster, it will become better, it will become cheaper. That is interesting point. Cheaper and very rapid growth. So cheaper would mean that there should be a time where these type of technologies would be available to regular people also. That is also going to happen. Just we have basic artificial intelligence available to us, just like Siri. And we, when we are running Google searches, it is giving us automated responses, that maybe we should look at this and maybe we should look at that, and so on. Yeah. So that type of conversation you would want to look at. But eventually the, the 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 final target, I think, what they want to achieve is that learn as they are doing something, not based on data. Maybe learning by doing. You do something, you learn, and you improve on that. Continuous improvement, that type of thing, I think, is the future. Uh, Here is another example, but because I don't want to show you all of them, you're going to watch this one in your own time, the AI ladder. If you are interested, you can watch it and maybe read this. I've made some note here. You can scan through that. Uh, this one I think is interesting. Advice for career in AI. We're going to spend some time on talking about this. So let's see what we can get.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to learn AI or perhaps even get into a career in AI?
So I believe artificial intelligence is going to permeate every sphere of human endeavor. So the first thing I would say is I would congratulate the person who've chosen to study and apply AI as having made the right choice. The second part I would say is because the technology is moving so fast, because we have not yet discovered what we're gonna discover. I think it's really important to keep an open mind. It's important to keep an open mind and not get too attached to any particular technology, any particular technique, any particular implementation, but to really think forward and think outside of the box and think out, what may, think about the art of the possible. Think about what may come. And the number one advice I would give is apply what you learn. Don't make it academic, make it practical.
The first thing I would say is take a look at a great Coursera course like this one and grasp the basics of AI, get a fundamental lay of the land, and understand what is involved in various types of AI systems, and perhaps find the niche that you're most interested in. And then, of course, look at academic programs that can help you to learn more about that specific area. And for students who are coming up through high school, for example, I would say definitely spend time focusing on math and science. Certainly all disciplines are valuable, but your knowledge of mathematics, science will certainly pay off when you're working on AI systems, because there are tons of opportunities and you'll need mathematics to really fully understand how the AI systems operate. So take your mathematics and your science seriously, and then look at Coursera, and then beyond to other educational programs that can give you the basis you need to really jump into the industry.
The field of AI has changed a lot in the last 5 years. You no longer require a PhD in some kind of advanced mathematics or know some obscure programming language. You just have to know how to use the software APIs and understand the problem. For example, you can use Watson, and you just have to understand the problem and understand how the API works. But you still require some advanced knowledge if you would like to build your own algorithm.
It's a fascinating field, but it's built on a huge number of foundational domains or foundational fields of study. So you really need to know your mathematics, you really need to know your probability theory and statistics, your optimization, and you have to be able to program. You have to be able to take advantage of the tools that are out there to train these networks and understand how they work. So AI is a really broad field that requires a lot of specialists and a lot of specialization in different areas. So one of the best things you can do is to get started quickly. Start playing with some simple tasks. Try to identify digits or try to find cats in pictures, right? Things like this. These are wonderful challenges that can get you going and understanding what you need to learn about that field.
Getting into AI now is like getting into anything to do with internet, 20, 30 years ago. It's kind of the renaissance of software right now. It's possible now. It wasn't possible 10 years ago. We have the computing technology, we have the computing power, we have the knowledge and the field that will only grow. So I think you need to get in yesterday.
This last guy, the point he made, I think it was very interesting point. Like he's saying that 30 years ago, 20 years ago, what was internet, that is what AI is now. So if at that time people were reluctant to, even come close or even, making an email or something, they would say, well, what is this email I want to post by hand, and it will go, and I'm not sure if it will reach or whatever. Those type of, you can look into those type of things. If you look at some YouTube clips of the past, people are, really not interested in emails and basic things which internet would do. But look at now, we are just without even thinking. What happened to the regular post, the postcards or something like that, or writing even the letter by hand? Yes, maybe sometimes people would do that, but it's not a norm now. The norm is digital. So in those lines, I think that was an interesting comment which they made. And math and science, that is one thing which they spoke about a couple of times. I have a little bit of a different take on that, although we all know that you have to be good in programming and stuff like that. But the way we have been conducting our session, I think you guys can appreciate the fact that even without that, you can make a career in AI. For example, ethical dilemmas, laws, regulations, how to build trust, all of those things, policy making for governments, for EU, European Union, for countries, all of that is, it has not much to do with programming and stuff like that. The psychology, language, those type of things, maybe, you know, if you are not going to program yourself, you can look into those things. Uh, the first guy when he opened that really stuck with me, and I really want to I want you to make note of that. I think I said it earlier also today, but he also said the same thing. He's saying open mind. Open mind is very important, having an open mind. And he's furthermore, he's saying that don't get stuck with any particular technique or any particular, you know, style of programming or anything like that. Even AI, don't just get stuck with AI that this is what you want to do. New technologies are coming in every now and then. New ways in AI are coming. So look for them and try to, you know, uh, see what is happening. Don't get stuck or something. And he used the word art of, you know, what may come, what the future may hold. That type of thinking, I think, is very important as we as all of us are looking for, you know, uh, what we should do with technologies in our career and jobs and stuff like that. This one you can watch in your own time, hotbeds of AI. Again, this one also you can watch in your own time if you want. I would want to watch this one with you guys and see what we can get.
So what advice would you give to someone who's looking to get into a career in AI?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a bit of a route coming. I have a background in psychology, so when I was studying, I was basically thinking of continuing to do academic research and not go into industry. I didn't want to become a professor. I didn't want to teach or do research in an academic setting. So I started looking for jobs. It's quite difficult because what we see today is, you know, sometimes what you learn in university doesn't translate directly into what companies want. So how do you bridge that gap exactly? For me, when I was at the time still in Tokyo, Japan, I didn't have a lot of resources around me, English-speaking resources at the time, where I could develop my skills. So I looked towards online courses, and online courses helped me, you know, practice Python, practice R, my data analysis skills through programming, and I was able to develop a foundation in the skill set that was highly sought after by many different companies. And then from there, the question became, okay, now I have these skills, these newly developed skills through these courses that I've taken online. How do I translate that to something that I can show and demonstrate to potential employers? So then the next problem I had to deal with was, well, how do I demonstrate that some way? So I created a portfolio of online assignments, exercises, projects to demonstrate that I could do, you know, the kinds of things that they were hoping that I could do to show my competency. I also, when I came back to Toronto, Canada, I started doing meetups to teach at these meetups, teach R, teach Python, teach data science, to, again, further demonstrate my competency so that people could really see that I could do what I was claiming that I could do, which was a little bit difficult because people would just look at my resume and just see, oh, you have a background in psychology. Have to do with, you know, data science or AI. So it was hard in that sense. That I had to overcome that burden of proof. Oh, and the final piece of advice that I would give is connect with fellow local AI specialists. So whether they're data scientists, you know, a specialist in a particular field of AI, machine learning researchers, data engineers, just to get a better sense of what kind of AI specialists you might be interested in becoming. Because today there's so many different kinds of AI specialists. You could be very technical. You could be doing research on, you know, the latest state-of-the-art algorithms, or you could be doing something a bit more business-oriented, like trying to optimize revenue, maybe some reporting as well, trying to find ways to personalize a particular service to each and every kind of user that you might have. There's different aspects of AI, and I think it's really important to have some clarity into what kind of role and what kind of job you want. And the first step to do that is to be able to reach out and ask questions to people who are already in the field. And it's a great way to get a sense and also maybe even form some connections that might be meaningful in your career as well. So those are the four things. Number one is, acquire skills wherever you can. Always be open to learning new things and skills. Number two is demonstrate your capabilities through projects, exercises, something that you can share online, even blog posts and articles. Number three, if you can, teach at meetups or maybe even more ideally conferences, so you can demonstrate your competencies in public. And then number four is going to be try to connect with local experts or local specialists who are already in the field, so you can get a better sense of what that career kind of roadmap might look like for you.
Yes, so very interesting couple of clips you guys just watched about career, and some advice is given by different people there. So I want to take you guys and based on the things which we have seen um, in last half an hour or so, 45 minutes. What are your thoughts? Any ideas? Any suggestions? Uh, Anything you liked in the clips? What they are saying? Anything you disagree? Anything on those lines? If you guys can say can say something on that, that would be nice. And before we move forward, yes.
I do have a point, like about these last videos. So when they ask to these professionals about the future of AI, you can see that they don't go straight into the pool. Like they at the beginning they are more like, I don't want to talk about the future, but I hope or I think that that's a really important thing to have in mind, because that's the way that it works. And having in mind the limitations of this technology in the present and in the future, just because how it is made of, it's really important to have this in mind. Of course, dreaming of being open mind, but not losing the sight in what is real. When that's I had that point.
That's a great point. Yes, you have to be open, but then you have to narrow down also. So again, that is the dilemma. Openness in the possibilities, that what I am thinking, maybe it will not happen in the same way. So that type of openness, but what you want to achieve, the target objective, that should be, you don't want to compromise on that unnecessarily. But if you have to change it, you change it with a conscious effort, not by pressure or something else. Very good point. Very interesting. Yeah. Yes. Next one, please.
I agree with Alejandro, but I don't know. You have to look in to pass your limits. I I think if you have a goal very low, you cannot get some extraordinary things. I don't know.
Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely correct. And I'm sure Alejandro did not mean that the goal should be low, but you have a very good point that the target, as a general, it is not directly linked with artificial intelligence, but I just want to share this thought with you. As what Diago said, I totally believe on that, that most of the time in life we have set our target very low. Most of the time we are far more capable, but because of the society, sometimes friends tell us, oh, you can't do that, forget about that, this is not for you. Sometimes family would say, oh, you can't do it, and that type of like, you know, that those type of things somewhere go growing up, these things happen. And these people who are around us, they are our well wishers. It is not that they are trying to do something bad with us. They are trying to save us from the difficulties. And for that reason, they say, oh, you won't be able to do that. They don't want our heart to be broken and, you know, all of that. They want to save us in. So in doing that, different things are there in their head, and they say, don't bother about that. Maybe you should do that. Maybe you should do that. And over a period of time, we just, you know, we just become that, whatever stories people tell us, that you can't do this, eventually we won't be able to do that. And on the other hand, if you tell people that you can do that, you are smart people, you have good talent there, you just have to find out what you are interested in. uh, although know that to be really good in AI, you will have to do, you know, programming and very good in statistics and mathematics if you want to work in the back end. But still, you know, there might be some friends in the session who are not into that, and that is perfectly fine. There are other things for them. So I should not say, oh, if you can't do this statistics, then AI is not for you. That is kind of, you know, we don't know what the future jobs would be like. Even in data science, there are so many things which are coming in data science, which is now linked with other subjects, like, for example, economics. It is linked with that. So even a person coming from economic background can do very well in AI. Diego said this point, and I want to share this study with you guys. There was a study in which there were students who would get A grade. They were getting very good scores and stuff like that. And in the same class, there were students who were just barely passing. They were not doing very well. They were getting maybe 60, 65, 55, and then there are other friends in the class who are getting 80, 85, 90, that type of thing. So that is what is happening. So this is the experiment they did. They divided the class, like they put the bright ones in one section and not bright ones, people who are scoring less, in the other section. Yeah, so they are now in different rooms. Now the teachers, the lecturers, when they are going in the class where bright students are, they are telling those bright students, you are foolish, you have no idea what type of response you are giving, this is not the right answer. Yeah, so breaking their self-confidence. Yeah. And on the other hand, when they are going to the class where there are not high scorers, people who are getting high mark, when they are making any comment, what are the people saying? They are saying, very good, that is a nice point you have made, well done. Yeah, what is that? So at the end of the semester, results came. It is no surprise for you, I'm sure you will understand that the people who are getting high scores, their scores dropped. The people who are not getting high scores, their scores decreased. You can run a Google search, you will find these type of studies which have been done. Yeah, across cultures. So just by telling people that they can do it, it kinds of, you know, improve the thing. So thanks very much, both Alejandro and then Diego, for bringing in this point, although not directly linked with AI, but I just wanted to share with you. Yes, next one, please.
In one of the videos, they were talking about you need to have like a mathematic background to start a career, or like a science background, and I think it's true, but it's true right now in the way that we have to be more open-minded. I think that in the future we are using like technologies that we don't really understand, because we won't be the ones who are building it, because there are artificial intelligence that create artificial intelligence itself. So it's like we are using technologies that we don't really understand, and we don't need to have the mathematic background. We just have to be creative and like see business opportunities and like understand the models, but not going so deep, because it will be a point where we don't understand it really.
That is interesting take, and it is we can do it either ourselves, or we can hire experts who will do the thing for us. And what our friend is saying, maybe understanding the model, understanding business opportunities, understanding what the strategy would be, those things are equally important. It is not just the technology, it is how you are going to use that technology, which area segment is important for you to focus on. All those things are equally important. So thanks for that point.
Well, the thing that you were talking before, I think that is a Pygmalion effect. I think that the experiment that I don't know. I think that this is the name, Pygmalion effect.
Okay, you are if you can write in the chat what is the name, it will be good for me also, so I can at least remember the name and tell people I don't remember the name, and other friends can also then run the search and they can read about that, and then it is. And thanks very much, Diago, for this. This is very important for us. Forget about AI. Even if you decide you are not going into technologies, that is fine. You don't have to. There are so many other things which you can do. And anyways, AI is not coming in next 10, 20 years. So it will take time. You can do anything else. But this thing you need to save yourself from. Because you will have your dreams, whatever you want to do, and people are of course going to tell you this is not possible and that is not possible. You need to save those that type of mentality coming in your head. That is very, very important. So Diago, please post it in the chat so all of us can maybe look it up later on. Yes, Zora, what's up?
Nothing, nothing. I was just thinking about how digitalization or the digitalization of of things has already impacted the way our society is. Because I was thinking about one of the persons in the video said he has a psychology background and he learned through online stuff about AI or something, and he was talking about how to prove that you are able to do stuff in certain, I don't know, in AI some areas, and how he talks at conferences and stuff. And I was thinking about how it is strange that, or not strange, but how it is good that we don't even have to study AI per se. We don't have to study mathematics in a university. We can just from the comfort of our home become the next leaders in the AI generation. I was thinking about how digitalization has improved our ways of sharing knowledge and how it already reshaped our society. Because 10 or even 10 years ago, this was unthinkable. You couldn't just look up any article, you had to study. And I was thinking, how much knowledge is accessible to us now and how people are using it. So yeah, those are my thoughts regarding the video.
Yes,
Yeah, I was
great,
thinking about
great
that.
points, great points. This thing about looking up articles before, we had to go to the library to find all of this information. But now just at a click, you can, and not just those. If you want to listen to music, you can just click and you can. Before that, you had to go to shop, you have to buy the cassette or whatever. You had to. It's a long process. So for AI, it is going to do it very fast. So once AI understands your taste of music, it is going to give you the songs which you are going to love, and you are going to say, how come I did not knew about those songs? Because we cannot listen to all the songs in the world, can we? Even in our own country, how many songs are produced in Spain in a year? Can we listen to all of them? No, we cannot. We can maybe, but then we won't be doing anything else. Yeah. So imagine that, all the Spanish songs in the world. After a while, AI understands your taste. You tell AI, oh, I love this song. I love this song. AI asks you, what do you love about this song? You say this beat, which when this comes, it makes me, dance, and it makes me, enjoy myself, whatever. Or these lyrics, I like this. So now AI is going to go and search all the Spanish songs in the world available on the internet and then give you a song. Do you like this? And you may say, well, yes, I like it, but not that much. They say, what do you don't like? I don't like this. No problem. Next song, next song. 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 songs. After that, what songs AI is going to give you, you will be just going crazy because you have not heard those songs, and AI now understands what you will be so happy that happiness can't. And songs is just one example. Poems, let's say you are in literature, you like poetry. Let's say you like movies, anything. Let's say you like to read about some articles. AI is going to give you that. Right now it is happening, just like YouTube gives us in the recommendation list whatever it is, but it is not that advanced, it is not personalized, it is on a bigger data. I'm talking about individualized. Now imagine that if you have a companion who is AI. Can a human companion do better than AI companion? What do you guys think? Because with human beings, you can't really control them. They have their own thinking also. So they will they might say some things which you like, but many times you're not going to like many things. With AI, that is not going to happen. AI will understand when you are in talking mood. AI will understand when you are not in talking mood. AI will AI will give you the, play the right song for you, order the right things for you. It will know everything about you over a period of time. So then what would happen to relationships? You have to think about that. Human relationships, you have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, they have their own thing. If you have a AI girlfriend, I think about it a lot,
I don't
I
think
would
it
not.
would be good.
Okay,
I
okay,
don't
Zora. All
no,
right.
because I think people need in relationships the uncertainty. I think if something is too perfect, people will get bored very easily. So if you have the perfect partner, you will get bored eventually, in my personal opinion. People, I think, like the uncertainty in relationships and stuff. So, and that's just my personal opinion, but I think people
Yeah, but
are
maybe you
never happy
can
if everything's perfect. Sorry.
program the imperfections that you like instead
Exactly.
of that you don't like.
In that case, I don't know. In that case, yeah.
Yes, Zora, that is a beautiful point. So now you can program uncertainty in the area of life where you are okay with uncertainty. So you are okay with uncertainty in which food we will like, but maybe you are not okay in uncertainty which movie we will be going to watch. So when we are selecting movie, you have the control. But when the food comes, you are okay with that, no problem. Let AI be uncertain about it. So you are programming the thing in that. But yes, your point is absolutely valid. People say this all the time to me that the uncertainty, and then the it's not real. It's not real. But go back to your question, Zora, which you raised. You are the one who said that when AI will be advanced, will we look at it in the same way or not? Now see, you are not looking at AI with the same way as a human being.
No, didn't say that. I said if you have a perfect partner, that is not good because people get bored of perfection. I don't say you can't have an AI partner. You can, but in my personal opinion, there would have to be some uncertainty. If you have like a perfect partner you program, you will get bored, in my personal opinion. That is not real because you made them to be some way in the game. The robots had their own feelings. You didn't program all of their stuff. So I think AI, if in this universe, if AI were like humans, I think they treated equally. I don't know if I would have a relationship with a robot, but he would have to be like a real person. You can't just program him to be like whatever. That is not real. That is two different things. That was my point. Is if it's perfect and if you program it, then it's not real because you make them be a certain way. But if they have their own feelings, they're their own person and they think for themselves.
Yeah, very interesting. How do we know that Diago is not AI or Alejandro is not AI?
No, I'm not.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say, there will be a time when we will be, with AI, and we might not know what AI is and not. But it makes me sad that maybe, we might not be alive by then because it takes time. But that would be very interesting time. And maybe it will never come. But the challenges which you are saying, there is a lot of people who thinks that there is no replacement of human being. Just like Zora said, and other friends also agree with that. Of course, if you have a human being, there is no substitute of that. But it is just a fascination maybe for me that what would happen, because we have not experienced that. We have had human relationships, but we never had any relationship with robot. So how it is going to turn out, that is more of a fantasy, and so on. Armin, you are there, or you have some technical difficulties? You are already connected. You will have to turn on your mic and camera, which is in the middle of the box, and you can also maybe comment on the things which our colleagues have been saying, and so on. But we're going to look at one more clip and then conclude this section, and then maybe move on to the next one if we have time. So we are looking at future of AI and so on. This one you are going to watch in your own time. So we just watch this one, advice, and then can the internet dream of itself, is a short clip, very interesting. We spoke about sleep and stuff yesterday, so you can watch this and think about what is what. This clip I definitely want to watch with you guys. It is a wonderful clip.
Not that easy.
It is I think it's like 3 minutes, so please watch it. 4 minutes, please watch it very carefully and make notes, and then maybe we can have a discussion specifically on this one. Very interesting clip.
In the next 10 years, there are a few jobs that'll disappear. Insurance underwriters, bank tellers, financial analysts, construction workers, farmers, and taxi drivers. Who knows what else? All this is because of the artificial intelligence revolution that is happening right now. This is also the first time in US history when the next generation will be less prosperous than their parents. This worries me because I have 3 teenagers in the house. What do I get them to do to prepare for this unknown future? Some parents want their children to become doctors, some lawyers, some accountants, and some engineers. All this when we don't even know what opportunity will exist in the future. So here's my thinking. All teens have some interest in sports or music or math or biology or medicine. Let's just say one of my teens, Ishwar, is interested in math. On this novice to expert line, he's likely to fall somewhere in this range. It'll be great if he's so good that he's on the top 1% of math professionals in the world, but the chances of that is going to be pretty slim, purely from a statistical point of view. On the other hand, say Ishwar is also interested in music. Now we're getting somewhere. Along the music axis, he may not be the world's best, but let's say he's pretty good. Then he falls somewhere in here. Combining the two, his math and music expertise is pretty good. Only a smaller set of people in the world will have that combination. Now let's say Ishwar is a passionate gardener and he likes to understand how plants grow. He may or may not have taken formal botany classes, but he's pretty good at gardening. On a third axis, we'll find even fewer experts in math, music, and botany. As the number of dimensions increase, his chances to stand out increases. The artificial intelligence systems will take a while to catch up to this level of expertise. Currently, most AI systems focus on a single area of expertise, like playing chess or like recognizing faces. I think it'll be 50 to 70 years before we can build strong AI systems, those that can do many more things. So Ishwar can stay ahead of the AI by using a combination of experts. This also helps to focus on all his passions and interests at the same time. So let's see where Ishwar can work. Perhaps he'll work in an entirely new field that has not been invented yet, or he'll work in the field of hydroponics, which is the science of growing plants without soil. He can use his love for gardening, use his math skills for optimizing the processes, and his interest in music to explore if plants grow healthier in a musical environment. This combination is challenging even for strong AI, and it's going to be what I call the realm of creative AI. At least this is my theory. To prepare for the future with AI, we need to let our children pursue their passions and interests. We just have to make sure that they have a handful of those, and some unique combination of these will place them at a competitive advantage compared to artificial intelligence. As always, I would like to hear thoughts. Thanks for watching.
Yes, guys, very interesting clip. What do you guys think about this one? Would like to know your thoughts. What do you think? If you can tell, if you can share, like, what areas you like, and then we can maybe, have a little conversation how that can be combined. And please note that, the higher level artificial intelligence, the guy in the clip said it can take 50 to 70 years, and that is absolutely correct. The type of intelligence which a human being has, we can do multiple things, together we can be good of a certain standard in chess, and we can be good in to a certain level in hockey and stuff like that. For AI, that is not going to happen. AI is for particular task, and that's basically about it. But in that task, it can be exceptionally well. That is what AI is or will be in coming years. But let's talk about this clip which you guys saw. If you have to tailor your career, what are different fields which you would be able to combine? Give us some thoughts if you can.
I don't think that farmers and other jobs disappear completely, because I think that it should be one person or supervising the AI if it goes down or something else. I think so. I don't know.
Interesting point about farming. A lot of things are happening in farming using artificial intelligence, especially since the usage of drones. So just run a Google search, drones and agriculture. You will be fascinated how drones just alone, they are using drones, and on a bigger level, how quickly they are able to spray in the certain areas, identifying which insects are growing in certain areas, and only using drones for that, and they don't have to go inside and that type of thing. But you are right, farmer, human being is human being. But what my question is that if you have to tailor your career, what are different expertise which you can join? Because if you saw in the clip, they were saying that, let's say that you have some capacity in music, some capacity in mathematics, and some capacity in another area. When you join these three things, you become a unique personality. Gardening, they were talking about, yeah. So that type of thing, I want to promote that type of dialogue. That what are 2, 3 things which you are maybe interested in, and how we can combine those. And I understand that this seems very simple question, but it can be very hard to answer, because if you have not thought about this thing before, it will be very hard for you to just come up now and say, all right, I'm this will take some time of reflection. You don't have to answer it per se right now. That is not the point. The point is that please think about this, that what are the 2-3 things which you are passionate about, what are those subjects, and then how you can combine them together. Because once you will combine them together, you are automatically going to become very unique, because because of your interest in certain areas in life. Other people might not be interested in the same thing. So just like I showed you example of the course in communication, AI role in communication, so you are maybe interested in AI and other things and games and stuff like that, but you are not interested in communication, so that is not for you. But let's say that if someone is interested in AI and they are interested in communication, and then maybe they are interested in games, yeah. So how gamification can make us learn. That is a very big topic in education, gamification. Just run a Google search on this, learning by playing games. So you go, that those times are gone, like you go to session and lectures and those type of things, they are relevant, they have their use, but now modern techniques are there. I personally participated in a gamification in Hong Kong last year. uh, that is what brought me to certain countries in Europe, and then I applied to those countries, and that is how I got these opportunities this year also. So gamification is quite a big thing. Let me tell you quickly what it was about. It was about sustainable development goals. Your knowledge about those goals which United Nations has set. You can run a Google search on that. Sustainable development goals, United Nations. I think there are 14 or something like that, on different areas: education, poverty, health, climate, those things. And this university in Hong Kong, they created this competition, and they invited people from around the world, students of course. So because I study in my university also, so that is how I was able to participate using my student account. So in that, uh, it was a game. So we were enrolled in a game where we were trying to get some pieces and construct some houses and stuff like that, and win prizes. A typical game. And as for every step, a question would come, and if we are able to answer that question, then we go to next level. And then if we are not able to answer that question, then we are on a lower level. So for example, you are playing that game and the question comes, uh, deep learning is dependent on structured patterns or unstructured patterns. If you have to choose one, which one will you choose? Yeah. So if you pick the right one, then you win some points in the game. So what I'm trying to say is, you are playing the game, but you are also learning. So it is not very dry, and you can choose the games, different universities play different type of games. So this is called gamification, learning by games. Yeah. So if someone is interested in, uh, games and those type of things, just like I suppose that Zora is interested in games. So games, and then her background from business, and then interest in AI. So this kind of is a unique thing, depending on how much her interest is in games and how much her knowledge is in business courses and those type of things. So combine some business course which she studied with gamification, improve the knowledge of that course by playing games, certain games, and in that use AI. So this is very interesting, and then offer her course online and let people just enroll in it. And it does not matter if even if she does not earn anything in the beginning, no problem. She's learning over a period of time, and after a while people will be asking her to come here and speak, and it's not that hard if you think about it. That is the same thing I did, same type of journey. and over a period of time you are also learning, and other people are also having some benefit, and it is so please spend some time on this, that which areas you are interested in and how you can combine them. Spend some time, and don't worry if you don't have the answer right now, because it takes time, and you won't have it maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow or even by the end of the session, no problem. But keep on thinking about that, so next 1 month, 2 months, you have some idea, and then play with that and then read about it. And I think that is what we would want to do. So I really encourage you to do that, and maybe watch this clip again, the last clip on how he explained that he made the vector, and it's just 3 minutes long. Watch it again with friends, with family, other people, whatever, and have a conversation. Ask other people, ask friends. Sometimes we don't know what we are very good, our friends know better. So maybe uh, you speak very well, but in your heart you think that you are not a good speaker, but your friends can tell you that when you speak it's very good, so maybe you should do something in speaking or something like that. So ask them, think about these things, and then see how it is going to uh, evolve. Our man, Armin is here or not yet? He sent a message that he's there, but I'm not seeing him. So please tell us if you are there or not. I think he is just shy, that what is happening here, and he has to speak or something. So maybe he will be fine by tomorrow. All right. So we have looked at the basics now. These were some of the basics, and I will keep on improving them, adding more data to that, information to that, and you will be looking at that to those articles or whatever I will post in your own time. Keep an eye on this section, and as I make some changes every now and then, I will also let you know in the sections that I have made this posting and I have made this, so you have an idea, and slowly you are looking into these things. So this was this AI for everyone masters the basics. Now I want to move on to AI and Europe. Yeah. So because you guys are coming from Europe, so I thought that we should do something on that. So there is quite a, as you are seeing on the screen, there is quite a reading which I have posted for you. Yeah. So let's scan through them, but you should read it in your own time, very carefully selected readings over a period of time. Yeah, I have been doing it for some time now. So as I'm looking at different readings, I keep them in the tab and stuff like that. So please take advantage of that. How AI is advancing across the world map. Yeah, how AI is advancing across the world map. So this article gives you a very nice highlights. Like for example, United States. What is happening there? They are talking about Amazon, Facebook, Apple investing billions in AI research and development. Billions investment. Yeah, you need to look into these type of things. So for example, this one, Defense Advanced Research Agency, project agency. And yesterday I gave you that example, that unmanned uh, fighter jet without a pilot, and using AI it is going to uh, fight with other jets. I gave you that example. How that is possible? Because of the investments which these countries are making. UK, what UK is doing, the highlights are there. I'm starting with highlights, so just to sensitize, and then you can select the countries which you like more, and then run your own searches and try to know more about those countries. I think that is what you should be doing. France, some maps are there. India is there. China is there. China and US are quite big in patents and writing research articles and stuff. So I think this is very interesting article which you should look in your own time. State of art and the future of artificial intelligence. Yeah, it's a very short, quick read. Please scan through this. There are some figures in the thing also. Read it, and in coming sessions, maybe tomorrow if you have done the reading, or day after tomorrow, talk about these things, what you learn in these articles, and tell other people, oh, I learned this thing. And maybe you can divide the readings among yourself. Get in touch, and divide the readings, and so everyone can you know explain other people what they understood from this thing. Similar type of things are going to come. For example, look at this: AI ethics guideline, explainability, transparency. You guys have spoken about that, but I want you to read some things on this machine learning and AI in Europe. Yeah, what is happening there? This is quite an interesting, very nicely they are explaining. Couple of things are coming from earlier discussion. For example, narrow AI, general AI, super AI. We spoke about it yesterday. We also spoke about it in the first session. So that shows that it's important to distinguish supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. These are some things you don't need to memorize them. Just read them. Try to spend some time with them, and then before you know, you will you it, they will become in your memory. They will become part of your memories. You don't, because you are looking at them again and again. You don't have to memorize them. If they are important, they will stick in your memory. Ethics and bias, we are speaking about that. Yeah, clear communication, you guys mentioned that is key. Communication is very important. So these type of things, I think you should read. Some tags are here. If you click on here, it will take you to the next article. You should be aware of what is happening, at least in Europe, Western Europe, and then compare it, maybe what is happening in China, America, that type of thing. But these things you will have to read. There is no shortcut for this. Pharmaceutical research and discovery, COVID-19, how AI is being used to deal with that. Maybe you should look into that. I have some postings. I bookmark them. I will post those also going forward. So these type of things you might want to scan through in your own time, of course. Yeah. And then AI in specific countries. I have selected some countries, and this is a very nice website. Please spend some time on this and see what they are giving you. I've selected some countries, and then uh, try to give some examples of some AI which is happening in those countries. So for example, Switzerland, that is quite advanced country. Yeah, quite advanced country. But look at this one. This is published 25th January 2019, like around 1.5 year old. So Switzerland lags behind global competitors in AI. So Switzerland, you guys know that it's quite advanced country, but they lag in uh, uh, this. So read the details. Quite interesting numbers they are giving. What CEOs think about the advancement and stuff like that. Very interesting short piece. So look into that. Yeah. In Poland, what is happening with AI? Should look into this and see how these people are writing reports. Because think about it, you can start writing reports for other people. So what I'm trying to say, it's not just about programming or anything like that. There are so many things which can be done on AI. So you can look at a country, your own country, Spain. Where is AI in Spain? What are some of the lessons we can take from other European countries? What are the things we can implement in our context in Spain, or in Slovakia, or in Slovenia, or in Romania, wherever I'm forgetting which country Arman is coming from. So any country, whichever you are coming from, you can write reports for the find out which are the people, which departments work on these things. and look at their reports and try to improve them, looking at how other countries have written their 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 reports. Yeah, even this can be very interesting. Very interesting data is in these type of reports. You should look into these datas, and then you will know that even advanced country, how far behind they are. AI in Belgium, I have posted a link for that also. You can look it up. The overall state of AI in Europe, yeah, that is very interesting. The state of AI, yeah, overall in Europe. So it's quite a long, report. You don't have to read all of it. Just look at the contents and see, which one you are interested in. So, for example, this one, chapter number 7, Europe's AI startups. I think you should be interested in this. That what are the things happening in the startup context in European Germany, in France, so on. Yeah. The implementation of AI, for example, chapter number 8. You should want to look into these type of things, and as you will look into these things, you will get some ideas, and that will also help you answer the earlier question which I asked you to work on, that what are you passionate about, what you would want to work. These type of readings help 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 you. Look at this one. These companies are doing a lot of surveys and stuff like that. I found this survey very interesting. Deloitte Central Europe CFO Survey 2019. Yeah, it's a very interesting survey. The findings discussed in this report represent the opinion of 674 chief financial officers based in 17 Central European countries, and the names are here: Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Serbia, Poland, Estonia. All of these countries are in there. Yeah. Look at this one, for example. Let me talk about some of the statistics also, because I'm asking you to read and you might feel that I did not talk about any statistics. So a majority of CFO expect an increase in the CPI in 2019, 3% points fewer than 2018, 82%. Yeah, that's very interesting. %73 believe this is not a good time for companies to take on more risk. 73% believe that this is not a good time for companies to take on more risk, and this was 2019. Imagine now, because of COVID-19 and stuff like that, they might not even want to take the risk. And then if there is no risk, how innovation and those type of things are going to, how creativity is going to come. Those type of things you would want to think about, and why 73% believe that it's not the good time to for the risk taking and stuff like that. Look at this one, for example. You would be interested in this one, I think. Appropriate technical knowledge, 57%, and work experience, 55%, are the two skills that are hardest for companies to find. So 57% of CFOs are saying that the technical knowledge is hardest to find, and 55% are saying the work experience is hardest to find. And if you remember in one of the clips which we saw today, the guy advised that start something, gain experience in that. That is very important. He said that he made a portfolio of different projects which he would take or which work on, making a portfolio, and then using that to find work. So whatever projects you are doing in computer sciences or business management, give them a twist with AI or any other technology, make a portfolio and use that when you are submitting applications and stuff like that in this field. Yeah, they're quite interesting clips. Look at this one. This is quite, you will find this one interesting. 80% of CFOs say they make little or no use of AI in managerial process. Please take a moment to reflect on this. You are seeing it on the screen on the right hand side where the cursor is moving, 80% of CFOs say they make little or no use of AI in managerial processes. 80% out of 674 CFOs they asked in European countries. 80% are. So this, what I'm trying to say, that see how much room is there if you want to work on these type of things. Yeah. So please think about these things. And look this one, look at this last one. 32% of CFOs believe that technology will displace people working in the finance function in 10 years. 32% in 10 years. Although right now 80% of CFOs are saying that they are not making much use of AI in managerial process, still 32% of CFO believe that technology will displace people working in the finance function in 10 years. Why they are talking about finance? Because they are CFOs, Chief Financial Officers. That is why they are talking about finance. But what I'm trying to say, that you pick up any field, jobs are going to disperse in next decade. So any skill which you are acquiring, no matter what your discipline is, be it computer science, be it business, be it something else, you have to be very mindful of the things you are being taught in the university, or the things you are learning, because it is a very big possibility that in coming years that knowledge is going to become redundant. AI might not come in a decade or two on a global level, but this surely will happen, that jobs will be displaced just because of the automation. It's not about AI, it's just the automation of different processes. This is going to happen. So these are quite interesting, statistics, and the company is Deloitte, quite famous company, and you should look into this. This I want to expose you. Index, there are different index for different fields. So AI also have an index. Look at it. They rate different zones, different information is there, ranking is there. Those type of things are there. Very interesting. So for example, annually published AI papers between 1998 to 2017. Yeah, annually published. So this graph shows you how many papers are published on AI between 1998 and 2017. Red is China, blue is United States, and yellow is Europe, whole Europe. So this is where the yellow line is Europe. Whole Europe, all the countries in Europe are here together. And just alone China is here with red line. And US alone is here. And rest of the world is the dotted line. Does not it amaze you that just China alone is almost very close to what all the European countries, including Germany, France, the developed ones, they can publish on AI. Yeah. And China is even ahead of US in terms of published papers. Yeah. So think about these type of numbers, these type of figures. They will come by reading, as I don't plan to spend time on those, but I have exposed you to the readings in your own time. You can look into this. A lot of information is there. Scan through these. You don't have to read all of it, of course, but look for the things which you like, and work on them. Let's complete this. Notes from the AI frontier, tackling Europe's gap in digital and AI. Yeah, so McKinsey, again a big company. This report is going to highlight some gaps in Europe and AI, in terms of AI. What are some of the gaps? So I think that is very important for you guys to understand that where are the gaps, so you can think about in terms of your career choice or planning that, okay, this is the gap, I need to work on that, or this looks exciting and stuff like that. You can again spend some time and look into that. European Union, as you guys know, a lot of countries are there, so you can think about that. Ethics, we have been speaking about ethics almost in every session. Ethics, dilemmas, challenges. So I want to expose you that there are guidelines, ethics guidelines coming from EU for artificial intelligence. So you should read them. These are the guidelines. Yeah, these are the guidelines. European Commission's high-level expert group on artificial intelligence. They have again, it is a draft ethics guidelines for trustworthy AI. What are the things they should do? What are the things they should not do? So I think based on the discussions we have had in our engagement so far, I think you guys are ready to scan through these type of uh, reading in simple English. There is no, and it's not hard to understand or anything like that. They have written in a way that it's easily understandable. Requirements of trustworthy AI, for example. What are the key things which should be there? Yeah, assessing trustworthiness in AI. So you can read, you can decide. There are so many areas because the field is emerging in many ways. There are so many areas which need work. It is just that you just need to sit down, reflect on it, try to see what are your capabilities, what makes you interested, which subject is interesting for you, and then how you can bring AI or any other technology, any other type of emerging technology in it, and try to see what are the gaps in European Union. I'm saying EU because you should not just look in your own country, because you should look in EU, because you have passport, you can travel if you want from one country to another. You don't have those restrictions. So you should look in the Europe, and then see it will increase your possibilities of. But start early. Don't delay this thing. This is something which needs to be done right away. At least start thinking about this, and then see what this is a 1 minute clip. How can the EU scale up artificial intelligence? Play this clip, watch it. Some advice is there. It's just 1 minute clip. So that is what I wanted to share with you for AI and Europe. Yeah. So thank you very much for a good session. With this, I'm concluding our today's engagement.